December 2nd, 1948. Wandershire News with Miguel Urbano.
I am Miguel Urbano with Wandershire News, and today our top story is dealing with Franklin Roosevelt's former advisor, Alger, who is being accused of espionage by a well-known ex-communist spy, Whittaker Chambers. I am here with Liliana, who is our expert on this case.
Thank you, Miguel.
So tell us, who are the big players in this case?
Well, as you know, Alger, who has held multiple high rankings within our government, is being accused by Chambers, an editor for Time magazine, of being a spy for the Soviet Union. To be exact, this year on August 2nd, the House of Un-American Activities Committee was informed by Chambers that Hiss is an active member of the Communist Party and has been sharing top-secret U.S. documents with the Soviet Union. One of the upcoming California politicians, Richard Nixon, who is part of the House of Un-American Activities Committee, will decide Hiss's fate.
Please forgive me, Lily, but I have been informed that we have some special scene footage from our field reporter, Natalie.
Hi, this is Natalie from Wandershire News, reporting from Whittaker Chambers Pumpkin Patch in Maryland. We have just received word that Chambers has just handed into the authorities film of secret U.S. documents given to him by Alger Hiss himself, which he kept hidden in hollowed-out pumpkins. These documents were handed to Californian politician Richard Nixon to examine. Here is his statement.
I am holding in my hand a microfilm of very highly confidential, secret State Department documents. These documents were fed out of the State Department over 10 years ago by communists who were employees of that department and who were interested in seeing if these documents were sent to the Soviet Union, where the interests of the Soviet Union happened to be in conflict with those of the United States.
When Whittaker Chambers turned himself in for being a spy, he also wanted to expose the communist menaces within the government. Most of the people Chambers named as a communist refused to respond to the charge. Even called before the HUAC, they took the Fifth Amendment. However, one of those, Alger Hiss, responded immediately and adamantly in a telegram to the HUAC's chairman. Hiss wrote, "I do not know Mr. Chambers, and insofar as I am aware, have never laid eyes on him." Once having seen Chambers, Alger Hiss changed his claim and said he knew him under a different name.
I identify him, Mr. Stipton.
As who?
As George Crosby.
When did you know him as George Crosby?
According to my best recollection, and I would like to repeat that I have not had the opportunity to consult records of the time. I first knew him sometime in the winter of 1934 or 1935.
After the statement, a member of the HUAC stated his suspicion of Alger Hiss, saying he was not working along with Chambers in his espionage towards the United States.
Mr. Chambers says that you knew him as Carl. You say that you knew him as Crosby. To me, that isn't a very important distinction. The important thing is how close your associations were with this man, who was admittedly a communist at that time. He was a communist functionary. So he was living in your home as George Crosby, or Carl, or Whittaker Chambers is comparatively immaterial. The important thing to me, Mr. Hiss, is that he was living in your home, that you were associating with him, that you were taking him out in your car, that you were loaning him your car, that you were letting him use your apartment and making him loans, and having associations with him of that nature.
So now, we're going to take a short break.
In recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it. If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in a communist publication, he may be a communist. If a person supports organizations which reflect communist teachings, or organizations labeled communist by the Department of Justice, she may be a communist. If a person defends the activities of communist nations while consistently attacking the domestic and foreign policy of the United States, she may be a communist. If a person does all these things over a period of time, he must be a communist. But there are other communists who don't show their real faces, who work more silently.
January 21st, 1950. Wondershare News with Miguel Urbano.
Hello, I am Miguel Urbano with the Wondershare News. You may recall some time ago our coverage on Alger Hess' espionage case. Today, after 2 intense trials, Alger Hess has been charged with perjury and lying under oath, and sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. This is a step forward in the fight against communism and ensuring our safety of our great democracy.
Hi, I'm Valerie Garcia.
And I'm Natalie Lomu.
We're coming to you from
Wondershare News.
In today's headlines, the intelligence community ended a 50-year silence regarding one of cryptology's most splendid successes, the Venona Project.
Venona was a codename used for U.S. signals intelligence effort to collect the decrypted text from the Soviet KGB and GRU messages from the 1940s.
These messages provided extraordinary insight into Soviet attempts to infiltrate the highest levels of U.S. government.
In fact, one of these things included the Alger Hiss trial, which proved that Alger Hiss was guilty and there was no denying it. During the Cold War, some people considered this case to pave the way towards McCarthy's anti-communist movement. Now we have some footage of Valerie going and asking people what they feel about this case.
Hi, I'm Valerie Garcia from the Wondershare News. I'm here to investigate what the public has to say about the Alger Hiss trials. Now, let's see if we can find somebody. Oh, we have a person right here. Come on. Hi, do you have a moment?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're from Wondershare News, and we're wondering if you have an opinion on the Alger Hiss trials. Are you familiar with it?
Is that the one with like the dude in the Cold War and he's being accused of a spy?
The dude in the Cold War, exactly.
See the shows where our government's like so corrupt and stuff. Like, why would it take so long?
Okay. Do you have any other words?
Yeah, it's just like, it's so complicated. Like, the Cold War is not only cold in the war, but it's cold in the hearts of Americans and their families.
Exactly, America. Now,
Rastafari.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time, and we appreciate it very much. Now, let's find out if someone else has a word. A moment.
Adios.
Hi, now we're trying to find out if anyone else in the public has anything to say about the Alger Hiss trials. Hey. Hi, we're from Wondershare News, and we're wondering if do you have a second?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Now, are you familiar with the Alger Hiss trials?
Yes, I have. I saw it lately on the news.
Perfect. Okay. Now what do you feel about the newfound evidence proving him guilty?
You know what? I didn't see that coming.
You didn't see it coming? I don't think neither of us did.
It's just shocking. I could have swore he was like innocent. Like, it was pathetic when they sent him to jail for 5 years.
What's that? 5 years. Now, do you think he should have been in there for longer?
No, I don't think he should have. Like, yeah, he lied under oath, but it's just like instinct to protect yourself.
I see. Now, you have an interesting point there.
The Alger Hiss case polarized the country between 1948 and 1950, becoming a symbol of American policies in the onset of the Cold War. It also accelerated the rise of Richard Nixon. The debate about Hiss's guilt remains endless, whether he was a traitor or he was the victim of a framing for political advantage at the highest levels of justice. This report has been brought to you by Wondershare News.